kind of funny saying that way. I don't like to be formal like that, but it's good to see everybody here today. And obviously, just like always, lots to talk about. Obviously, first thing I want to do before I even do the mission statement today is just much condolences, much love to all the family and friends. Uh, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She was an amazing um, champion, amazing hero, an amazing, and not just for women, man. Anybody who has any anything in the fight for equality and for justice and for you have to love, respect, and admire Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She's just a phenomenal woman, a phenomenal lawyer, phenomenal judge. I mean, just a champion for the downtrodden, a champion for the stepped on and the overlooked. It's just amazing, man. I have a couple of things that I quotes from her that I love. One is when a thoughtless or unkind word is spoken, best tune out. Reacting in anger or annoyance will not advance one's ability to persuade. And it's kind of one of the quotes that I live by, especially doing this food for action thing, because as you notice, there's so many people who have seen the horrible things that people have commented on my under my posts and so on, and even in some of these live streams, and they've wondered why I don't respond in anger, or why I don't just kick everybody off, or all that. And I really use that quote, and I have several other quotes by other leaders of today and the past, but that quote is definitely hits home. So if anybody ever wonders why I don't respond in angst or in anger when people say some of the horriblest things that they could think of on my page and on my posts, it is because of this quote: when a thoughtless or unkind word is spoken, best tune out. Reacting in anger or annoyance will not advance one's ability to persuade. And I tell a lot of you guys that too. I tell folks how it's just so important to make sure to keep the conversations focused. Make sure to keep the conversations away from answering. If people are bullying or calling names, stop yourself from engaging in that kind of rhetoric, because it just doesn't help the point. It doesn't help get a message across. And doing this, the conversation, food for action, doing this in any forum where we're trying to fight hatred and fight bigotry and fight racism and fight injustice. When you're in those forums, you're gonna likely be confronted by people that spew nothing but hate, spew nothing but trying to antagonize or trying to incite riot. And I'm telling you that you just can't give into that. You gotta keep a level head. You gotta keep a focus. And you gotta, obviously, with this, along with the studying that I always tell everybody to do, you gotta keep a focus and your head straight, and be aware of that tool of negative folk, the tool of hatred, which usually does have a lot of divisiveness and wanting to argue, and that's their thing. Anybody who does who spews hatred and that kind of thing, they have a tendency, a love for and this I don't know, this desire to engage in some form of battle in a way, and the best and the most effective battle is the focused and peaceful battle, the mind that can stay steady and that can be articulate and be loving and compassionate in that within an argument, not necessarily soft spoken all the time. Sometimes you have to be a little stern, but to engage in those other antics, it just becomes anti-productive. You're not going to solve anything. You're not going to get anybody to believe you, understand you, or see anything from your viewpoint when you're going through that, when you engage in that kind of ruckus. So I encourage everybody who takes part in this to stray away from engaging in that in that kind of stuff. So Ruth Bader Ginsburg, again, just an amazing woman. I posted another one of her quotes that I love the most, which is, "Yet what greater defeat could we suffer than to come to resemble the forces we oppose in their disrespect for human dignity." Again, right in alignment with the previous quote, and again, you have to see that these are things that I literally live by and I act by, and it's so important that that anyone who engages in the conversation should do the same, should do as much, because it's the only way, again, the only way that we're going to get people to listen or to even to pay attention in the slightest is going to be through keeping a calmness and keeping a steadiness about how you approach the conversation. It's just not going to be a successful venture to embark upon if you're wanting to just be butting heads and want to be the loudest or want to seem like you're the most what's the word, animated or fierce looking or sounding. That's not really how listening ears are achieved. And so little by little, I'm learning this and putting it into practice. And I hope and pray that everyone, everyone who is in the fight for equality and social justice and social inclusiveness, rather. I hope that everybody begins to see that side of things and takes part in the conversation that way. It's so important to have it happen. Have yourself be have your voice be heard from that kind of standpoint. When you try to battle evil with like tools, excuse me for messing with my hair. I'm just trying to get, I just took it out of the braid and I'm trying to get it settled down. But anyways, when you try to battle evil or hatred with the same tools that they use, you're basically coming in undermanned or underarmed to begin with, because if we're not coming from a place of hatred and a place of evil, but you use their tools instead of using the tools of peace and productivity and positivity and proactive tools, then you're basically, it's like going to, how do they say, going to a gunfight with a knife or something. Anyway, so and that's kind of what it is. You're just going to actually be securing their position more so because you're not really coming to the table with ammunition of your own. You're trying to do battle with the devil, devil's pitchfork, and I'm sure that he can use that pitchfork better than me or you. So definitely, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was definitely somebody who really put that message home, like home run after home run, within the justice system. Really, just she did it her way, and was so incredibly effective. Even in cases that where the more liberal positions didn't win in the cases, she won. You know what I mean? She just had a way, man. It's insane to think about somebody who has the capacity to engage that way. I hope I can only come somewhere close to being that effective at some point in my life. It's just an amazing accomplishment for any human being, for anyone, as I like to say, for anyone who breathes air, who breathes breath. Hey, Shannon, how are you? Again, hey, so proud of you, man. So proud of you. You gave, you did your baptism today. Awesome. I remember that day in my life. It was so amazing. And so I'm really proud of you for that. Lisa Jamenko Brown, thank you for watching too. Again, today I'm going to do things a little bit different because first, I have some announcements to make, which are really awesome, but I'm going to save them for a little bit, kind of build up a little bit of suspense. But there's some amazing stuff that I'm going to tell you guys about that's happening with Food for Action. And but as well, I want to open up the show today for people to take part. I'll even bring some people on the screen. So if you want to take part in the conversation, if you have some things that you want to share, please write a message in the comments. Just tell me, just say I have something I want to share. Put it in the comments, and I will get as many folks in as possible. There's a little bit of delay for how fast I get messages, as you probably can tell. So please bear with me because I'm using my phone to receive messages. For some reason, they're not coming up as fast on the Be Live platform that I use, and I have not heard from anybody from Be Live about fixing that problem. So hopefully they will address that with me soon. Yeah. So let me go ahead and do the mission statement, so that everybody, new people, if you have not heard what the mission statement is for Food for Action, I do have what I like to call a mission statement, because I think it's important for any organization to have something to describe to the people, to describe to the folks what the purpose is of what you're doing. It's what any business does. And I think that for movements and for organizations, I think everybody should have the same, and most do. So for Food for Action, I kind of phrase it as an agreement between us, that all of us who take part in this conversation, I and we acknowledge and express the racial divide, racism, oppression, exploitation, violence, systemic racism against Black men, Black women, and Black youth in the United States and all over the world. I and we will proactively help create a path to a true United States in America. And to me, that statement is really just simply expressing that through this conversation, through this platform, I am going to do my part, and hopefully all of you will do your part to engage in conversation that becomes productive and proactive, and that it will lead to us taking further action against the oppressive things, the oppressive actions, the bigotry, or the racism, systemic racism, anything that treads upon a people. We are going to be a positive force in that, and it starts through this conversation. And then, as I always tell everybody, you don't stop at the conversation. You take the conversation on to the next level, where you actually process what you've taken in, because we're not just talking, we're also listening. And it's what I do all week. Is before I get back to you guys, I listen to the messages and the voicemails and the messenger messages and text messages that I get throughout the week, and I listen to those things and I study those things if I'm not familiar with those things, and I do what people call homework to make sure that that I am versed in the things that people are talking about, if I have not already, and in turn I'm able to take part in the conversation and add productive things if I can add productive things, but just basically to help us bridge the gap, the understanding or lack thereof that each group of people may have with another, or one group of people may have with another group of people. That's another reason why I invite everybody to take part in this conversation. It is not just for people who are standing against racism. It's for people that for some reason don't acknowledge that it exists. It's for people who think that they don't need to do anything about racism. That their position is just, hey, I'm not a racist, and so that's good enough. So this is a conversation where I want everybody to feel that they can add their experience to the table, because that's how we get to understand each other. That's how we get to grow as individuals and as a collective, and again, end up being productive in society to help bridge the gaps and get rid of some of the negative things which amount to people being oppressed, and even ends in loss of life, as we've seen so much of lately. So again, that is the purpose of Food for Action. So today, again, I want, if anybody has opinions, if you didn't get to reach out to me during the week, if you didn't get to send messages, make phone calls or whatever, if you didn't get to me, or I didn't get to your question, please, because I do my best to get to everything, but if you have something to share, please let me know, and I will then send you a code to invite you into the conversation and get your face on the screen, and you can talk to me and everybody else that's taking part in the conversation. Okay? It's a very important part of this. A lot of times it seems as it's just me talking, and unfortunately, except when guests are on, unfortunately, that's because a lot of people aren't communicating in the comment section, and so I don't know what is on people's minds. So the only thing I can do until somebody has something that they want to say or type in, I have to address just the maybe the most problematic thing or the most identified thing of the day or the week, in rather it be in media, social media, or if it's something that I've addressed with folks in private messages or such during the week. So again, but I am inviting everybody to take part in this conversation. So if you have anything to say, if you have anything an experience that you've dealt with, rather it deals with being on the receiving end of racism, or if it is something else that may be productive that is related, please feel free to either type it or let me know that you want to be on, and I will bring you into the conversation. Again, if you don't want to, if you rather just type it, that's fine too. I'm paying attention to my screens, and when I see something pop up, then I will most definitely address it. At this point, I haven't had anybody else say anything, and so because of that, that is why I am still expressing to you what I'm doing, and haven't had anybody come in yet. But again, I think I was telling Shannon Fouch that I am happy for her, and taking that next step to actually get baptized, which is one of the first obedience acts of obedience that God instructs us to do. It's in a public display of obedience to God. Once you ask God into your life and ask Him to forgive you of your sins, and you are giving yourself to Him, and at that point, God tells us that we should um, complete this with the baptism. And so it was so awesome to see that online before a little bit before the show. I saw, I don't know when exactly she posted it, but I saw it not too long before that, and I did express the happiness for her online as well. It's a really cool thing, man. I love to see that happen. I love to see folks acting in obedience to God. You know, I've done ministry for a long time, and so to whoops, I don't know what just happened here. Oh crap. Had a little bit of a problem here. Great. I don't know what happened. Please